Hello, welcome to my channel here for the first time. Welcome back if you have been following. It's Monday, so we're going to do a children's book. I am a preschool teacher, so I like to go through how to read a book with your kids. First, I always like to give some reminders. Before a child can learn to read, they have to know how to use a book. So, it is very important that you teach those concepts as you're reading with them. Right? This means tracking print when you are reading. That means using your finger and showing them how you're reading as you're reading, so that they know that we go from left to right, top to bottom. We start on the left page, then we go to the right. You want to make sure that they're holding the book correctly, so they know what the front is and the back is. And you want them to know that we turn one page at a time, right? They just might want to flip through. It's getting them to teach them the patience of, oh, we only do one page at a time. So I've been following pretty much all summer. We've been doing these, and I'm going to keep doing them at least till the summer and maybe even farther, because we kind of do some of the same books throughout the school year. But it's about 3 more weeks, so if I do any new books, I will use those. But I'm trying to do this series with you because I really like it. This is How to Catch a Fairy Godmother. Goes with the fairies we did last Wednesday. So how this works is I don't read the book for you, but I kind of go on the page and I say, okay, these are the words that I might point out that they don't know. These are the questions I would ask. I'm going to give you 3 different levels of questions. It's good if you read a book multiple times. So the first time you read, look for labeling questions where they can label any things on the page or any verbs that they're doing. Second, I like to either ask like recall questions where they have to remember something I just read, or prediction questions like, oh, that happened, so what do you think will happen because of it? And then the third time, I try to relate it to them, right? The whole point of this book, not this specific book, but all books, is you kind of want to learn something from them, right? There's probably some sort of principle or something you can take into your life. So you kind of want to relate the book to them. So we will start. This book is by Alice Walstead, who's the author. They wrote the words, and illustrated by Andy Elkerton, which means they're the ones who drew the pictures. So this book, as you know in this series, has rhyming words. It's always good to point out rhyming words. To do that, you're going to say either the same or different. And you make sure they sound the same or different at the end, right? The words here are tail and trail. So this page, I would first say, so what is it? They'll probably say fairy. We can say a fairy godmother. So I would point out that because she says, I'm a fairy godmother. Right? So who is that? Right? A fairy godmother. Second one. Blazing a new trail. They may not know that phrase. You can say that means doing something different. And so, prediction question, what do you think the fairy godmother is going to do that's different? Right? And then relate it to them. Have you ever seen a fairy godmother? Right? Or seen a movie with the fairy godmother? Right? Yeah, I'm talking about maybe Cinderella. That's the only one that comes to mind with the fairy godmother. I'm sure there's more. But so this page, true and clue, are the rhyming words. They are all, she's graduating. It looks like there's a school for fairy godmothers. So I would the first label the gown, right? Like, what are they wearing? And they may not know that it's a gown, but that's okay. Second, what did she finish, right? Her classes. What did she graduate from school? Or I'm here to start my new job. So what is she going to start? A new job. You could even say, what job do you think she's going to start, right? Another phrase, I have no clue. They may not know that phrase, so it just means she doesn't know. So, this page, I would probably label the children. Who is she taking care of? The children, right? Oh, stress and mess are the rhyming words. So I would just label the children. And then I'd be like, how is she feeling, right? Because she says she feels stressed. That's a good way to work on self-regulation with them, right? It's a good way. Oh, yeah, she's feeling stressed. And that's a good way to help them talk about being able, get them to recognize when they're feeling that, and hopefully teach them physically what their body is doing when they're stressed. That's how I probably related to them. I would be like, the third question, have you ever felt stressed? How does your body feel when you feel that way? Do you feel like a butterflies in your stomach? Do you feel very heavy when you're stressed? Do you feel very shaky when you're stressed, right? Get them thinking about how situations that might make them feel that way and how their body's actually reacting. And then if you want to go a step further, what they can do to calm down if they're stressed. But that's a lot. Yell and tell are the words. Oh, sorry, on the last page, it's a phrase, I don't want to be a hot mess. You might have to explain that she just wants to be able to do everything correctly, right? So yeah, this page, yell and tell. This one, they're out like in the backyard. So I might label the backyard. Where are they? The backyard. What are they looking for? A fairy. Or you could ask, what do they want to do with the fairy? They want to use her for show and tell. Okay. And then to relate to them, what would you like to bring for show and tell? Okay. Grate and plate. This one, the fairy godmother's not understanding what that is. She's like, I've got enough to do. Which has really filled my plate. You can just say that means she's busy. So this book is going to have a lot of phrases, I think, that the kids may not know. This one, they're trying to get her to stay, and they have the sandbox open, and they have a sign that says completely safe landing right here. She'd be like, how are they trying to get it? I would label maybe the sand. Be like, look, what are they using to try to get her to stay? And then the recall question, just be pretty easy, like, does she want to stay? And they'll probably be like, no. Would you want to go to show and tell with someone to relate it to them? Catch and hatch. So this one I would point out, they're using the playground set to try to catch her. They're like, fairy fun house. And there's a slide going into the holes. So I would probably label that, like, what are they trying to use to catch her this time? Guide, they may not know guide them, so just say help them. Well, you don't have to say it, but just tell them that it means help. A solution, I must hatch. So a solution, she has to figure out a way to not be trapped. So you can think of a way. You can just say solution means they have to think of something so they don't get trapped. So I'd be like, what do you think her solution will be? What is the fairy godmother going to do so she doesn't get trapped? And then relate it to them. You could be simple and just like, what's your favorite part of their trap? And would you use those things to build your own trap? Play, spray. So like, I would point out the glitter fairy spray because that's what she uses. She is escaping. So my recall question would be like, did it work? I'd be like, no. And then related to them, do you think it'd be fun to be sprayed by something? A lot of them will probably say no. Trick, quick are the rhyming words on this page. Now they have some treats set up. It looks like cupcakes. But on the chair is glue. So you could point that out. What did they use to try to catch the fairy this time? So I would point out the glue. Recall questions. I'd just be like, what happened to the fairy when she sat on the glue? She got stuck. And then relate to them, have you ever got glue stuck on you? How did you get it off? Hide and outside. So I would try to just point out the room and it's messy. So I'd be like, just get them the difference between clean and messy, right? It's a good thing for them to know because it is a good skill to have them practice picking up at themselves. They'd be like, is the room clean or messy? They would be like, messy. Recall question, did the fairy get away? Yeah. And then related to them, what do you do if the room is messy? And get them talking about, oh, we should probably clean it up, right? Getting them used to that skill. Team and scheme. They're not going to know scheme. Tell them it's just a plan. This time they have a selfie with a unicorn. So what are they doing to catch them? I'd probably have them label like the phone or camera. And then prediction question. You could just like, do you think she's going to want a selfie? And relate them, do you guys like taking pictures? Through and view are this one. This time I would label that everything's fallen down. So I'd be like, oh no, what happened? Everything fell down. Recall question, did the fairy get caught? Like, I know those are redundant questions, but that is the point of the book, is like how to catch one. So we're seeing if the plan works. Related to them, have you ever been knocked over? What did you do? This one is a concert. So I would point out either the microphone or the speaker. Probably the microphone, they might know that a little easier. The rhyming words are yet and forget. Questions. Do you think the fairy will want to sing? Right, I'd ask a prediction question. And then related to them, do you like to sing? What's your favorite song? This page, what are they doing? He's actually singing, so I'd probably do that. Or you could label on one half the fairy is writing something. Mission and tradition are the rhyming words. I may not know what tradition is. They may not know courage on this page, so just say it's another word for brave. Mission, it's something they have to do. Tradition is just something that you do all like over and over. Like opening presents at Christmas, eating turkey at Thanksgiving. Those are things that you just do over every time. Prediction question, like what do you think the fairy's writing? And then related to related to them. Do you like to sing? What's your favorite song? You can pick one question for the concert page and one question for this page. Other, grandmother. I'd probably label, they're at the school now, so I'd probably label the school, like where are they? The school. It says check the camera. So my recall question would be, what do they have on their phone? Because it says you have a picture like no other. Try to get them to remember that there was a picture taken. And then what do you think the picture would be? Could also be a good question. What pictures do your mom or dads have on their phone? And then it says, see you soon. So, she's like, so did they get the fairy? No. But that book, that's really cute. I'll have to maybe read a lot of these with my kids because they're fun. But thank you for staying that long. It's just very important for kids to hear you read to them. They need to hear 20,000 words. It's so important with their communication development. So please go read it with them. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up and share with anybody you think might be interested in this book or just anybody in general. If you're new, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, because why not? Got some good content on here. If you haven't yet, don't forget to hit that notification button. Mondays and Wednesdays are child's book. Saturday are my book. And as always, I'd love to hear from you, particularly your experience with the book, other books you might think you like, or just anything else you would like to comment. And thank you. You guys are the best, and we'll see you next time. Bye.